All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight on this beautiful, amazing, and rainy Saturday evening here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I'm at. If you are here live, it is Saturday, March 19th, 2022, the day this is happening live. But if you're here on the replay, even down the road, this is going to have tremendous evergreen replay value for quite some time because I don't see anything changing anytime in the near future regarding this crazy modern dating world that we all live in today. This crazy world, this crazy digital world we live in today is just unlike anything we've ever experienced. Like I've said time and time again, it is uncharted territory. And I have a great show here for you folks tonight. The topic and the title of the stream pretty much says it all, but I even have a little bit of a bonus that's going to enhance this show. First things first, if you're looking for more content to watch tonight, there's plenty of content on this channel. I've been running this channel for over 3 years now. There are probably close to 900 pieces of public content available here. But if you missed my earlier stream, please check it out. I did a Walking with Purpose stream a few hours ago. And the topic of that stream was called, I already got a yellow icon on this. I'm going to request review right now. It's because of the word died. If 90% of men died, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Let's just submit it for review right now in the middle of the show. There we go. Under review. The topic of my earlier stream was socially awkward people are in abundance nowadays. How this affects you. Socially awkward people are in abundance nowadays. How this affects you. If you need more content, you want more content to watch or listen to later on tonight or tomorrow, check that out. Also, check out my past several, Walking with Purpose live streams. There have been some great topics that will help each and every one of you, whether you're a man or a woman, regardless of who you are, it will help you get a better grip on your life and help you move forward in the most positive ways possible. All right. So let me just, first of all, make sure the YouTube notification went out, and it did. It did. And let me make sure that the back end is rolling smoothly, and it is. Yeah, listen, God loves me. I don't need to know about that stuff. I really don't care. If somebody's restreaming me or not, I'll take care of that down the road. It's not a big deal. I don't want to get distracted, but I appreciate you sharing this out on your community wall. It's funny, you had to spell restreaming with 3s because it's a block word here. Oh man, it just makes me wonder. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If somebody wants to restream me to an audience of 5 or 10 people that know who I am on their end, it's not a big deal. I'm trying to reach a much wider audience. Yes, it is Nightbot, and Nightbot will time you out for that. So you probably got timed out for 5 seconds. Anyway. All right. So here's how tonight's show is going to go. I've got 2 Reddit postings to go over. The first one is regarding the title. First of all, the title of this stream is, if 90% of men died, would the 10% left be highly sought after by women? One more time. The topic of the stream, the title is, if 90% of men died, would the 10% left be highly sought after by women? So that's exactly the first posting I'm going to read. It's probably going to take the first half of the show. Probably going to be going through the majority of comments. There are a lot of comments on this posting, 268 as of right now. I will probably go until about the 40 or 45 minute mark. And then after I come back from break, I've got another Reddit posting I came across today, written by a woman. And her posting is titled, "Dating While Being a Tough Woman." Oh my God. Dating while being a tough woman. What part of men don't like it when women are tough? Don't women understand? Okay. It's not that we don't want you ladies to be strong or be successful or be a little assertive at times. But if you're going to act all tough, you're acting like a man. And even real men nowadays that act all tough are insecure, and that's a turnoff to women, right? A real decent, strong, confident alpha male is not going to feel the need to act all tough. He's going to be down to earth, easygoing. He's going to be assertive, but charming and witty and playful and fun. And he's only going to get tough if his lady is in danger or if people around him that he cares for are in danger. Besides that, it's not necessary. So women trying to be all tough, this is an interesting posting by a 34-year-old female that is struggling to keep men around. She's getting dates because she's attractive, and guys are probably hooking up with her and dating her for a little while, a month or so, maybe having great sex with her. But then all of a sudden, these guys either ghost her or leave her. Why? There's a reason for all that. We're going to get to that during the second part of the show. But anyway, let's get to the first posting here. Let's get right to it. We're going to switch over to the browser source. This is from the Purple Pill Debate subreddit. And the original poster's title is, there we go, "If 90% of men died and the 10% were average guys, would they be highly sought after?" I didn't have enough space to put in the average guys part, but that makes all the difference regarding what we're going to talk about here. If 90% of men died and the 10% were average guys, would they be highly sought after? Let me share my thoughts real quick before I read what he wrote. Absolutely! Because if 90% of the men died and 100% of the women were still there, that means there would be a 10-to-1 ratio of 10 women for every man. And if I was one of those 10% still around, even as an average guy, I consider myself an average guy, average looking 7.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, some people, like my woman, thinks I'm higher than that. But hey, to each its own, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? But if I was living in a world and I was single, if I was living in a world where there was a 10-to-1 ratio of women to men, 10 women for every man, my God, I think my lower region would fall off. No, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm just kidding. My lady's watching me on her big flat panel at her place. She sent me a text before I went live and said, "I gave you a thumbs up already, baby, and I'm going to eat some dinner and watch you on my big TV." Well, welcome to the show, ma'am. Glad to have you here. Very interesting topic here. A very interesting topic. All right. Yeah, I mean, let's just read this, and I'll get more into it as I read through the comments and what he posted. So if the 10% of men that were left over were on average less social, shy, or not as tall, 5'8" and below, or overweight/underweight, or not a big earner, would that make a difference in the world where the ratio of women to men would be 10-to-1? Absolutely. Women wouldn't have a choice. And women, no matter what women say, they would rather not be alone. Women love being with a man. They love having great company and someone to do things with, right? On top of the intimacy, they love having someone to share things with, talk about things with, great conversations, take nice drives, weekend getaways, hiking, activities, right? So either one or multiple of these traits, and none of the women were killed in this calamity. Sorry. Let's say it is an airborne disease that only affected men. The only thing this 10% had in common was a natural immunity to the disease. Okay, I get what you're saying. So 90% of the men are no longer around. There are only 10% of men still left around from what there were. 100% of the women are still around. There's a 10-to-1 ratio of women to men, right? Okay. What would happen? Oh, let's read on. Some of all different races and cultures survive, but most of the men are gone. Like you have some cities that have 200K women with less than 1K men in them. Okay. If all these guys were average, would women seek them out before they're snatched up, or would they still pass on them? Edit, I personally believe the incels still wouldn't get girls. Well, let's just be real here. In any scenario or situation, right? If you're an incel, which is an involuntary celibate, right? Or if you're, a very, very weak man, emotionally weak, if you're acting completely feminine and submissive like a woman and you're not assertive at all, yeah, even in this scenario here where the ratio of women is, women to men is 10-to-1, yeah, these girls still, these women still want to give you the time of day. But here's the thing. In this modern world, average guys like myself that are still decent looking, and in the past, like I've got a great woman now, so, I'm not looking obviously, but in the past 20 plus years ago, as an average decent looking guy, I had no problems meeting lots of women and finding the right one. And women weren't playing as many games. They weren't ghosting really as much. Sure, they still did, ghost and stuff, but not nearly as much. It's because, there were less distractions. There were less options. Nowadays, you have the thirsty beta males, like 90% of guys, which is probably the 90% in this scenario that, are no longer around, right? 90% of guys are thirsty beta males that are overly inflating women's value. They're swiping right on every woman, and they're being overly nice and overly compliant to women, right? So when a good guy like me would come around these women and do my normal thing, be myself, be a little flirtatious and stuff, these women would just run away, right? It's because of what these other guys are doing, right? So I personally think in a world where the ratio of women to men was 10-to-1, 10 women for every one man, as long as, you were at least somewhat assertive and outgoing, you took care of yourself, and you knew how to talk with women, have a conversation, even if you were a little underweight or overweight, like he states above here, even if you were 5'8" and below, or not a big earner, these women would give you the time of day. There would be far less distractions. Imagine taking away a woman's distractions in this modern world by 90%. Let me give you an example that will put this in perspective, okay? Most average-looking women nowadays will get probably anywhere from 50 to 100 matches on dating apps nowadays, right? So let's say the average woman gets 100 matches on dating apps each and every day, right? If you take away 90% of those matches, that goes from 100 matches to 10 matches. Do you think that it would be a little bit easier to, have a chance to get to know a woman if you were 1 out of 10 guys she was talking with instead of 1 out of 100? Think about it. That's what's happening here. And this is a phenomenal posting. I like my men with big brains, says God loves me. Okay, wonderful. Okay. All right. So let's go and read some comments here. The first comment is, yes, supply and demand. It would be like online dating, but in reverse. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. Right. It would be like online dating or dating apps in the way they are today, but the complete opposite. It would be basically women chasing men again, like they did in the days of traditionalism, instead of men chasing women. That's the problem nowadays. You thirsty beta males chase women, right? And you put them on a pedestal and you overly inflate their value and you're compliant. You agree to be their friend first instead of not agreeing to friendship, right? And then you think you're going to get somewhere by accepting friendship, right? Let's take the time to get to know each other. Let's take it slow. I don't rush into anything, right? It's because of you thirsty beta males complying to women that are saying that, which is why when good guys like me would come around women like that when I was single, they would think I was being a little bit too pushy when in actuality, I'm just being assertive and direct and honest and going for it, which is the way women used to respond to, men normally and naturally before this crazy, overly saturated, dating app world existed. One could dream, says the next one. Well, yeah, it's a nice thought for us guys nowadays to think we could live in a world where the ratio of women to men is, 10 women for every one guy. Instead of women having their pick of the litter, we'd have the pick of the litter. Like it used to be back in the days of traditionalism when women were dependent on us for survival. And they would fight for us. Now you guys are fighting for women. At least the thirsty beta males are. Dude watched World's End Harem and is asking question, LMFAO. This right here made me die of laughter, LOL. Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, wow, I got to send this to my girlfriend. I got to send it to my lady. And we had a little back and forth. As a matter of fact, I will share what my lady said. This is funny. I go, check out this thumbnail. It is a great topic. At least I think so. And she saw my thumbnail, which says, if 90% of men died, would the 10% left get all the chicks? And my woman writes back and says, no, baby, we would go lesbian. LOL. Well, maybe some of you would. And hey, to each its own. However you want to be, no problem here on my end. But I wrote back to her, no fucking way, LOL. This will be a brief 1-hour stream I will do at 6 p.m. And then we can talk afterwards. And then she writes back and says, but what if all that is left are Chads and Tyrones? My old woman writes back and says, but what if all that is left are Chads and Tyrones? Blue Top Legend, hello, Coach and sweet GLM. Blue Top Legend, are you somebody that I know? Let me know. Welcome to the show. I wrote back to my lady and said, you'd be banging them all, meaning the Chads and Tyrones, and they would all be trying to impregnate all of you ladies to bring back more masculinity. This is a great topic. I am sensing you're getting a kick out of it. She wrote back, absolutely. I figured I would share that with you folks there. Yeah, my lady got a big kick out of this. All right. Let me scroll down to some actual, topics where these guys aren't just, messing around. Let me see. Okay. If 90% of men died, we'd have bigger problems than dating. That's true. Sperm banks would probably see higher traffic, though, provided they function, considering about 45% of the people of working age are disappearing, would be catastrophic, even if we don't factor in how this being all men affects it. Well, there are still jobs today that, were jobs that, once only men can do and women could do them, but they don't want to do them. For example, I asked one of my ex-girlfriends, years ago, I said, babe, would you want to work for a Pacific Gas and Electric Company, the electric company out here, where we live, PG&E? And would you be willing to climb up a utility pole when there's thunder and lightning outside and risk getting electrocuted to restore power. She goes, no, babe, I'd rather have a guy do that. And I think most women with certain jobs nowadays would still rather have men do it, even though technically they, can do those jobs if they want, if they're qualified. They still don't want to do them. So yeah, losing 90% of men would be more catastrophic than the dating scenario. Yep, I don't think a lot of guys realize how quickly modern society would collapse if 90% of men disappeared. They'll do a lot to support. They do a lot to support all our infrastructure. Right, I was just saying the same thing in different words. Right. Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from women, and say that women are not capable of building bridges and paving highways and doing all that. But let me ask you this: like, how many times do you see women, working on our highways, paving the highways and building bridges? You see them occasionally, like literally 1 out of every 100 employees that does, road work, right? Or infrastructure type of work. 1 out of every 100 is a woman. They don't enjoy doing that type of work. So losing that amount of men would be catastrophic in many ways. Many ways. What would women do? What would women do if all men were gone? I'd love to see that. The remaining men might have harems or women, but have to work 100 times harder, much more difficult lives. Yeah. Like 10% of men left to make sure the entire world is not falling apart from an infrastructure standpoint. Yeah, it would be majorly catastrophic. No doubt about that. I assume the women would actually have to be the ones to work harder in this scenario. A big round of applause for that! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They wouldn't have a choice, right? They would probably still complain, though, right? Men are in demand, meaning they are in control. It is the women who need to go out and work and prove themselves of value. Well, dude, I wouldn't go as far and say that, because you sound like a very angry and bitter man that, maybe a lot of women have surpassed you with a college degree and the career they're doing and the money they're making. I think what you're saying, what you're trying to say, is what I just said a second ago, but I said it in a more proper and respectful way, and I actually mean that, right? Okay, women don't want to do certain jobs. They don't enjoy doing certain things, and they probably aren't capable of doing those things. Maybe some of them are, but even the ones that are capable don't even want to do these types of jobs. So it's more about what women enjoy doing instead of, are they capable of doing it, and do they have to prove themselves, right? Or they should prove themselves. You're looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at it from an angry and bitter standpoint rather than the mature and reasonable standpoint. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Yes, I am a long-time follower and hope to enjoy your streams and chat interaction, Coach. Blue Top Legend, are you BBB? Are you Brandon? God Loves Me says, hi, Legend. Welcome to the chat. God Loves Me says, I really like the people who come into your chat, Eli. Well, that's great. That's great. For some strange reason, I think all of you are trolling and there's something going on. But hey, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to run my show. I'm just not going to sit here and just be naive and not think that something's not going on. Something's always going on with these people. But anyway, that's true. But this is dating. This is a dating sub. So I wanted to ask a question about the dating aspect of this calamity. That's a good point. It is a dating, sub. It's the purple pill debate. They're talking about purple pill MGTOW topics, which is pretty much a hybrid of the blue pill and the red pill, right? Purple pill's right in the middle. They are guys that, still want to date women and possibly get married, but they do it with the caution and awareness of learning the red pill and learning what they're up against when dealing with modern day women nowadays. So a good point there, original poster. By any means necessary. The Eternal Ghost was responding to a part of the original poster's posting. He responded to this part. If all these guys were average, would women seek them out before they're snatched up? And here's what he responds to that with. There wouldn't be much snatching up going on. If we ignored that modern societies would all crumble with 90% of men gone, the 10% of men left over would be rock stars and would have no motivation to settle down with a single woman. I hate to admit that I'm a good guy, and my lady's not going to like me saying this because I'm actually a really, really good guy. But if the ratio of women to men were 10-1, I think myself and all other guys, I think our lower region would probably fall off after like 6 months. We would be plowing women like they're out of style. I mean, listen, I'm a good guy and I'm a one-woman man. And baby, you know what I'm saying, right? But in this scenario, which is never going to happen, right? Like, I got to be honest and say, I'd be doing exactly what women are doing today. I'd be like enjoying all the unlimited attention and validation, right? It would be the reverse of what's happening today. Good point. Each guy could easily have multiple wives if he wanted consistency or just accept offers on Tinder if he wanted variety. You wouldn't even have to go on Tinder. If the ratio of women is 10 women to one guy, then the women would have to hunt you down in real life. Trust me, it would be completely different. You probably wouldn't even need to go on these dating apps. Human sexuality absolutely follows supply and demand. Let me read that one more time. Human sexuality absolutely follows supply and demand. Big round of applause! And that's what this all boils down to. Supply and demand, right? But if, here, let's say in the U.S., for example, here in the U.S., 52% of the population are women and 48% are men. So it's pretty much half-half, right? So if the supply is pretty much equal men to women, then why does it appear like, the supply and demand is in the woman's favor nowadays? Because of the thirsty beta males, right? The majority of men are not what women are looking for. And the majority of women, even women that are, a 5 on the attraction scale, women that are between a 5 and a 10, all of those women want the 9s and 10s. And even women that are less than that, they want the 9s and 10s. They might settle for a 7 or an 8, every now and then. But all women want the top 20% of guys. And if they can't get that, they might settle for a 7 or an 8, possibly, right? So that's why the reason why it's so skewed is because of the thirsty beta males that continue to overly inflate women's values and continue to, comply to the way women want things done, such as, like I always say, if a woman says, let's be friends first, the guy said, okay, we'll be friends and see where it goes. You never accept friendship from a woman you want something romantic with because you will be permanently friend zoned. She won't respect you, right? And that's just one example of many examples, right? That's why it appears, even though there's an equal amount of supply to women, they're seeing it as there is a limited amount of supply of the men they want, right? So the demand for them is higher. At least that's what they think, and it kind of is, right? In this scenario, the demand would flip back to men, right? There would be an abundance of supply of women instead of an abundance of supply of men, right? Crazy. Even situations with artificial scarcity like ballet dancing shows how predatory women get when they greatly outnumber men. And that's with a world full of men just on the other side of the door. Okay, I have nothing to add to that. Interesting, says the original poster. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Let's see here. Let me see. I am not working with anyone, Eli. You have my word. I'm a pain in the ass all by myself, sir. Well, if you're saying you're not working with anyone, and why would you even put in the chat that somebody was simulcasting me that wants to be a part of this channel now? Again, I'm not being naive. I know people play games, and I know people have always tried to fool me, and people are getting paid by a fake sponsor to try and fool me. Look, I know anything could be happening, but I honestly don't care. I just don't understand why you would put something out there like that. And if that's true, and this guy is doing that, then him wanting to come back here was all a hoax, a setup, right? Anyway, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I don't care. God Loves Me says, ugly women have to settle. Well, here's the thing. Even women that are perceived as ugly, GLM, want the 9s and 10s. They want the top tier guys, right? Even those women, I'll tell you, when I was single, I would have never given, women that are that unattractive the time of day. But I would try to connect with them just to see if they would give me the time of day. I wasn't seeking validation. I was seeking information, right? And so a lot of those women either never got back to me back then, or when we talked, they were acting like their value was greater than it actually was. That's the problem nowadays. And it's all because of what the thirsty beta males are doing. And the majority of men are thirsty beta males. We are at 32 minutes. I just heard it. I don't know if there's any truth in it. Well, if you're no longer involved with these people, then how would you hear something like that, GLM? I'm just kind of wondering. And if he's simulcasting, J-Rom, if you're simulcasting me, dude, do what you got to do, bro. I hope your audience of 5 or 10 or 15 people, whatever, that still know who I am, enjoys it, right? I'm focused on building a new audience. I don't care. All right. Let's see. No Improvement 8205 is responding to part of the original poster's posting. He's responding to this line here. Each guy could easily have multiple wives if he wanted. Actually, it's to the other person's comment. Each guy could easily have multiple wives if he wanted consistency, or just accept offers on Tinder if he wanted variety. And he responds to that with, I'd even dare say that in this situation, the men actually had to impregnate as many women as possible in order for our species to survive and rebuild. See, babe, if you're watching behind the scenes, I sent you the same text. And I hadn't even read this comment yet. Let me read that again. I even dare say that in this situation, the men actually had to impregnate as many women as possible in order for our species to survive and rebuild. Big round of applause! Yes. That's what we would be doing. We would be banging all these women left and right, just trying to knock them all up, right? Every one of them, to bring back manhood, or to bring back men, right? Oh my God. I don't even want to think about the world, being this way. This is a very, very fascinating topic here. Monogamy isn't really an option when 90% of one gender disappears. Exactly. And that's what I was saying earlier too. Humans need tribes in order to thrive. Right. So lots of kids with different genetics are needed to offset the problems with inbreeding and just for a tribe to survive. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. And when all of those women get old and need lots of help, you need lots of kids, teenagers, young people who can help them by replacing their place in the tribe. Right, right. Well said. Well said. So the eternal ghost is responding to another person's comment above, this part of their comment that states, I'd even dare say that in this situation, the men actually had to impregnate as many women as possible in order for our species to survive and rebuild. It could be a woman writing this. Women don't have babies for the good of society. Women have babies for themselves. Is that a woman writing this, or is that a guy that's angry and bitter? No, the real reason to have kids is when a man and a woman love each other, they procreate to have a family and to continue the family name on both sides. Women have babies for themselves. Women that think that way are very selfish, and I would never give a woman the time of day that feels that way or is selfish. Women aren't going to allow their men to impregnate other women for the good of society. They're going to allow it because they have no other choice. They would be too replaceable to say no if there were 10 women to every one man. And that's exactly what I've been saying. I mean, this dude is just basically stating the obvious here. I mean, this is never going to happen. I mean, never say never, but this is probably one of the best blogs that I've seen ever. My woman just sent me a text saying, that's an angry man with a lot of kids. Yeah, probably. You're right. Well, women want babies because of biology, and biology knows that we need more babies in order to keep on thriving. The reason why women want kids is because they want to share their life with a man, and that is the closest bond you can have with your man. If you as a woman allow, a man to put his pee-pee inside of you and to give you a seed and impregnate you, I mean, that's the most closely bonding thing you can share with a partner. So, yes, if you're looking at it from that aspect of biology, sure, right? But I feel it primarily has to do with a woman really loving her man and wanting to have a life with a good man and growing old with a good man and having a family to leave a legacy behind too, right? It just makes a woman feel that, she's really bonded with her man if he's able to impregnate her and they have kids. It's a very close bonding type of thing. It doesn't matter if women want a baby for themselves or for society. No, it does matter, because a woman that just wants a baby for herself is very selfish. And that's not a good reason to bring a child into this world. You bring a child into this world because you love your partner and you want to have a life with your partner and have a family with your partner and keep your family name going on both sides because you love your families. I mean, these people just, wow. They're very angry and bitter. The end result is the same. The human biology is pretty awesome in that manner. Well, the end result's not the same if it's not true love. The reason why there are so many, messed up kids nowadays that have, emotional issues and they're traumatized is because of situations like these where the man or the woman is very selfish, right? Or the woman wants a baby just for herself. To properly give your kids the best chance of, not having, emotional issues or major emotional issues in a healthy, life in the future, you've got to show them through the happiness of, the mother and the father. The mother and father, if they love each other and they're happy together, they have a good marriage, right, or good relationship, that's what the kids are going to see. If one or both sides are selfish, that's what the kids are going to see. So how do you think they're going to turn out, right? Just think about that, okay? Give me a second here. We are at 39 minutes. We're going to go through a few more and take a break at 45 minutes and then come back with that other posting, which is going to be very, very interesting. Most people have kids because the condom broke. Well, God loves me. Have you heard of birth control? I mean, every woman that I dated in my 40s was on the IUD. IUDs are like the best birth control nowadays. I'm a guy, I even know what it is. They have the hormonal version and the non-hormonal version, right? The hormonal version stops your period. The non-hormonal version doesn't stop your period. Okay? And so women that, still want a chance to have kids will typically take the non-hormonal version, because once you take that thing out, then you can immediately start getting pregnant again. If you take the hormonal version, once you take it out, you still have to give your body time for those hormones to be removed, to be released before you can get pregnant, right? So I know you're kind of being funny, and I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude. I know you have a child, GLM, and maybe that happened to you. But GLM, there's been, birth control available for many, many decades now. I mean, we didn't have, the IUDs and the, Depo-Provera shots and all that, until probably about 20 years ago. But before that, there was the birth control pill. Yes, women had to remember to take it, and there was a flaw rate in that. But with the many different and highly effective variations of semi-permanent birth control, like the IUD, there really, really is no reason to have unplanned pregnancies. The only people that get pregnant in an unplanned way nowadays is if they're irresponsible and they don't think about birth control before they start dating someone. Right? Because even condoms can break. You're right. And the truth of the matter is, who likes condoms anyways? I know you have to use them initially for safety, and it depends on the woman that you're with, right? But why would you want to be with a woman as a man that you couldn't trust, right? The truth of the matter is, nobody likes putting a piece of plastic on their pee-pee, and women don't even like that piece of plastic on your pee-pee either. So there are other ways to protect yourself. And granted, I understand there are diseases too. But yeah, I mean, you just got to do what you can to be proactive on everything. And then no accidents will happen out of the blue. All right, we're at 43 minutes. Couple more here. Yes, the purpose for the desire in the first place was to continue the species. Things have just gotten a lot more comfortable over the last 10,000 through 2,000 years. That doesn't make any sense. If you consider agriculture to be a positive change for our species, of course, our brains are practically identical to what they were 200,000 years ago. I mean, dude, we have no history stemming that far back. Who even knows if things were still around, or things were around at that point? I don't know. I'm not going to read any more of that one because that really makes no sense. The Eternal Ghost responds to a comment up above, the comment that they responded to. Well, women want babies because of biology. He puts, yes. Biology knows that we need more babies in order to keep on thriving. He goes, no, biology doesn't have a brain. It doesn't know anything. We have a biological imperative to replicate simply because we wouldn't exist if we didn't. Everything alive has it. It is the primary condition for life. It doesn't matter if a woman wants a baby for themselves or for society. And he writes back to that. It seemed like you were trying to imply that women would be okay with polygamy because it would be good for society. If I got that wrong, my apologies. What we're saying is that in this scenario where 90% of the men are dead and there's a 10-to-1 ratio of women to men, this would probably happen. In today's day and age where the ratio is pretty much almost 50-50, it's equal, right? Okay? It's more about the man and the woman loving each other and bonding closer and procreating together out of love. Okay? Because if it's not happening out of love between the man and the woman, they don't really love each other, then that child's going to suffer because one or both sides, is not going to love the other side, and the child's gonna grow up in a broken household, right? All right. Or we could just use all that sperm we have stored all these years. That's our logical male brains functioning. Female brains would still pine after Chad and expect 666 from us. So no saving the human species is a weak argument. I think you're wrong about that, dude. Here's the thing. Think about it. You've got a 10-to-1 ratio of women to men. Okay? Let's put this, in layman's terms, right? In the easiest terms possible. Let's say the world population had a total of 1,000 people, right? Okay? 10% were men and the other 90% were women, right? Okay? So let's say that there are, so what did I say? 1,000 people, 10% were men, and 90% were women, right? There would be 900 women and 100 men. Okay? So that would be like a 9-to-1 ratio, right? Pretty close, right? Okay? So, and let's say that half those guys are Chads and Tyrones, right? So here's the thing. So 50 of those guys would get 50 of those women, or maybe each of those women might bang the Chads and Tyrones once or twice, but the Chads would just, do what they always do. They would just use it for sex and move on, right? Right? But eventually all those women would want someone to settle down with, which, has the remainder of 50 guys there. The remainder of the 50 guys are going to have their pick of the litter to settle down with one out of those 900 women, right? So think about that, man. You're sitting here saying that female brains would still be Chad chasing. Sure, they might still bang the Chads, right? But what happens when the Chads kick them to the curb and do the same thing? They're going to want to go find guys that are going to be around and dateable. If there are only 50 guys left but 900 women, come on. Those 50 guys are going to have a better chance to connect with a beautiful woman when there's less competition in that scenario than there is today. You guys are not understanding the point of this posting. This is a great posting. Babe, you tell me behind the scenes before I go on break here. Interesting posting, isn't it? Probably one of the more interesting ones that we've done. Couple more and I'm taking a break. Sperm banks, my guy. If a woman got with a man, if 90% of the male population disappeared, it'd simply be because she's straight and wants love. Right. Right. And there are far less distractions that these women would have to filter through because they're not dealing with hundreds or thousands of thirsty beta males hitting their inbox every day on whatever platform they're using, whether it's a dating app or a social media site like Instagram. Every time says God loves me. Don't know what you were saying that to. Oh, boy. Let's see. How can you be sure that sperm banks are still operating? If there was a virus that killed 90% of one gender, I'm pretty sure there would have been chaos and disorder at some point. Expecting everything to still be up and running is utopia. Also, when they realize this deadly virus is only affecting the male population, there's without a doubt going to be some assholes who fuck shit up before they get infected and die. Just look at COVID-19. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, the sperm banks would still need to be operated with, some of the remainder of the men operate them all over the world. Would women continue helping operate them? Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. Like losing 90% of men is losing, like, they said earlier, like 45% of the workforce, something like that. It's a lot of the workforce to lose, almost half. Yeah, society would definitely start to crumble. Original poster writes, and he puts below no pill. Okay, you're just on your own without the purple pill, red pill, or blue pill. I feel you, but I don't think society would collapse. Oh, I think it would. There would be hella bodies to bury, but women can do any job a man can do. Wow. Now, I see disrespectful. If a woman wants to do any job that was once only known as a job that men would do, more power to you. Most women do not want to do certain jobs that men still do nowadays. So you coming out and saying, but women can do any job a man can do, maybe they technically, have the capabilities of doing it. And maybe some don't. Maybe some are not physically strong enough to work certain fields. Certain jobs require you to have a certain amount of strength and be able to lift a certain amount. Not every woman, not even men, not even some men can lift certain amounts, right? Dude, original poster, I'm really, really, really disappointed that you said that, man. Because you're kind of being a little, you're kind of pedestalizing women there, right? Right? Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from women. They can do whatever they want to do, right? But A, do they want to do certain jobs that men are doing? Or B, are they actually qualified? Do they have enough physical strength? And are they capable of actually doing the job? Some are, some aren't. Just like some men aren't capable of doing certain things other men are, or aren't as strong as some other men. Why are we pedestalizing women here, brother? My lady writes, very interesting, babe. I'm supposed to be cleaning and can't stop watching. Can't wait to talk soon. All right, great. Thank you, babe. Appreciate that. Power plants would still run, same with everything else. You know what? I think the power plants would be one of the first things to go. Do you know what it takes to run a power plant? And do you know how risky that job is? And do you know that to this day, there are more men working power plants than women? They just don't enjoy those types of jobs. They don't like that type of environment, right? And the ones that are doing it, from what I hear, certain jobs that women are doing that are more of a masculine type of job, they're only doing it because it's paying their bills, right? Original poster, I'm disappointed that you would think this way. Women would have to fill more traditionally male jobs, right? If they're qualified or even enjoy doing them, right? They don't enjoy doing them, and a lot of them are not qualified, right? But qualified or not, they don't like these jobs. It's not about, us not wanting to give women a chance to do these jobs. Women don't enjoy these jobs, period. I say a short period of chaos, but I doubt there would be a power outage nationwide. With 90% of the men gone, you're saying that there wouldn't be a power shortage or power outage nationwide? I beg to differ, bro. This dude's probably really young. This guy has no clue. Not trying to take anything away from women, but men built this world. Men risked their lives to blast through mountains, to build roads, to build bridges. Back in the days before women were even liberated. Okay? Men have died to build the infrastructure of our world. So are you trying to say that women would die for our world? Or is it within their natural biology to want to die for their world? A lot of men risk their lives and have died to give us what we've got today. Dude, I'm really, 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 dude, I'm going to move on. Because, dude, you're like the kind of guy that probably pedestalizes women. And that's why you're writing a post like this now, because instead of being able to get a date, because of the way you are, instead of a date, you're on Reddit, writing stories or putting out scenarios. If 90% of the men, died, would the 10% of men, blah, 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 have a better chance of being with women with the tables turned if they were average men? The USA runs on 4 major power grids: East, West, North, Texas. Yes, Texas has its own LMFAO. There are women that work all power plants, but the majority of the employees are men, right? And what are the women doing? Are they doing more admin work or more work that is less physically intensive, or are they doing the grunt work the men are doing? I'm not saying they can't do it, but even if they can do it, do they enjoy doing it? Could you get enough women that would enjoy doing it and do as good of a job as the men are doing nowadays? I don't think that would I think it would create chaos. The world will keep spinning, at least in first world nations. Second and third worlds, ones may collapse or even have the opposite effect. In a world of where 90% of men are gone, you would see world collapse happening very quick. We might be able to survive for a month or two or a little bit longer with whatever reserves we have, okay? But what would keep the power plants going? They need to be run daily, right? But even when the power goes out, we can find ways to survive. We have battery backups and all that stuff. But when all that dies, how do we survive then, right? Dude, you're not understanding this. You are basically pedestalizing women and devaluing men. That's what you're doing. It's pretty sad, man. And I'm not trying to kick women down. I'm just speaking the facts. I love men and women, but men and women are both good at different things. And we work well together as a team. Let's see here. The world will keep spinning at least. Okay, I already read that. This is all straight BS. There aren't enough women with the technical knowledge and physical strength to do these jobs. I will agree. Let me read that one more time. This is all straight BS. There aren't enough women with the technical knowledge and physical strength to do these jobs. Big, huge round of applause. And that's with no disrespect to women. If they're capable of doing it, so be it. But this dude is right. He just called out the original poster on his last comment. Babe, let me ask you something. Babe, behind the scenes, before we go to break here, okay? Would you want to work at a power plant and deal with highly toxic and combustible stuff, even if you were making $200K a year doing it? Would you want to work that job and deal with chemicals that could cause damage and put you in that risk? Would you want to work that type of job? Would you want to climb up, a transmission line at the power grid to replace a line that's crucial to transmit power elsewhere in the middle of a thunderstorm? I'm asking logical questions here. This is not an attack on women or saying women can't do things that men can do. Okay? So my woman gets back to me and straight up just says, fuck no, ... My woman is a strong woman. Yes, she is sweet too, but she's assertive and she's strong. And even her is saying, fuck no, I wouldn't want to do that job. And she doesn't feel disrespected. You don't feel disrespected, babe. You just know there are certain things that women are better at than men, and there are certain things that men are better at than women. And together we work as a great team. Why can't we look at it that way? With that being said, we are at 59 minutes. I'm going to go back to full screen here. Where's my full screen button? There it is. I'm going to go back to full screen and cue up some royalty-free music and come back and go over the other blog posting or the other Reddit posting. It's very interesting. She goes, and I wouldn't want to be a cop or a firefighter. It's an honest woman right there. Why do you think I'm with this woman? I respect her because she's honest. And she's real with me, right? And she's not trying to flex her muscles saying, I am woman, hear me roar, I'm liberated, you gotta bow down to me. No, I respect her for being a woman, she respects me for being a man, and we get along great. And honestly, we're really nice to each other because we understand each other as men and women, as a man and a woman. Wow, that was interesting. All right. Let's cue it up. Let's cue it up. Cue it up. Cue it up. All right. Let me find some music here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Let me see here. I need just a couple more. Let me see here. All right. And one more. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for about an 8 or 9 minute break or so, a little less than 10 minutes. When I get back, we've got another great Reddit story. Just one more. I was only going to do the one I did, during this first half and just do one segment. But when I saw this posting here in the subreddit Dating Over 30, I'm like, yeah. This is a great add-on to this show. And the title is Dating While Being a Tough Woman. One more time, Dating While Being a Tough Woman. That's what we're going to discuss and read when we get back. So stick around. Stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, energy up. Feel the energy, feel the heat. Yeah. Yeah, slow it down a bit, slow it down. Feel it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sometimes you have to slow it down a little bit. Just mellow out and feel the love, the joy, the peace, and the happiness. Oh yeah. Yeah. And live a drama-free life. Live a drama-free life. There's enough drama in the world. Release all of those anger monkeys and live a drama-free life. Are you with me? All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. Glad you could all join me here tonight. It is Saturday night. We are broadcasting this live on Saturday, March 19th, 2022. But if you're watching on the replay, stick around. This is all evergreen content that's going to be relevant for quite some time. And I have a real doozy of a Reddit posting to go over here regarding a very, very tough woman that's wondering why guys that she attracts and starts dating don't stick around. There's a reason for that, ladies. So stick around for that. Until then, just want to mention one more thing here, folks, that if you would like to help sponsor or donate to this channel, you could do so in one of many ways. You can go below to the bottom of the chat and click on that $sign that is a super chat and super sticker. You can send a super sticker, you can send a super chat, which will send a highlighted message into the chat. And it will stay at the top of the chat for a certain amount of time. The greater the donation, the longer your message will stay highlighted at the top of the chat. If you don't want to send a message, you want to take the easy route, you can send a super sticker of whatever amounts are available now in the super sticker department, and send an animated Giphy, which I'm not really too fond of Giphies, but I will still appreciate your donation. If you don't want to use a super chat or super sticker, you can also donate via PayPal or Cash App. Nightbot's sharing my PayPal and Cash App links every 7 minutes or so. They're also below the description section if you're here on the replay. And as always, donations are not required, but they are greatly appreciated. All right. This is feel-good music, right? Just wave your hands and feel it with me here. Just take a breather. Take a breather for a second, all right? Yeah. You know what a Giphy is, okay? You know what it is. Animated GIF. I get it. If you want to make fun of me because I'm not a millennial and I'm not as well versed on these millennial things, then so be it. It's all good. All right, folks, tonight we have been discussing if 90% of men died, would the 10% left be highly sought after by women? That's the title of the show. If you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay, because I spent about an hour going over a Reddit posting that a gentleman made, and it got really, really interesting with some of his thoughts that didn't really make a lot of sense in the chat. In the comment section below when I got to the comments. So check that out if you missed it. Now, during the second half of the show, I wasn't going to even do a second part of this show, but when I came across this Reddit posting, I had to add it to the show because it makes sense, and you'll understand once I get to it. So let's just get to it right now. switch back over to the browser screen. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There was my beautiful, colorful wooden background there. Okay. Technology, right? Okay. This is from the subreddit Dating Over 30, and the original poster's title is Dating While Being a Tough Woman, ... You know what, babe, behind the scenes? This woman likes to use the ... after she writes a sentence like you do. That's like a woman thing, huh? Okay. Dating while being a tough woman. Okay. When you insert the word tough in the same sentence with woman, most decent men, if not all decent men like myself that are not thirsty beta males, that are well-versed, good, average, everyday, well-balanced gentlemen, would be like, that's not attractive to us. Okay? And it's not that we're trying to discredit women and not say that women haven't risen up and that women are not strong. They are. They've become strong and stronger. And that is great. We just don't want women to flex their muscles, just like women don't like it when we flex our muscles. A lot of guys back in the days used to, and they still do it to this day, they flex their muscles, right? Literally, right? To get attention, right? Nowadays, if you do that as a guy, you're looked upon as insecure and weak and needy and desperate, just trying to seek attention. And the last thing that you need to do as a man is try to seek the attention of a woman by flexing your muscles. So on the flip side, when women assert their liberty and their toughness amongst men, right, it's a big turnoff to us. With that being said, let's get into this Reddit posting here and see what she wrote. Hello. Hello, ma'am. I am 34, female, and for a while I've been contemplating why my relationships don't work. You've been contemplating for a while. Why, ma'am? Because you keep doing the same thing and you're getting the same result? I'll immediately start off by saying that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So this woman probably started going insane, let's just say figuratively speaking for now, maybe literally, and now she's wondering why. And why dating is so difficult for me. Why, ma'am? Because you're making it difficult. You are pretending to be something you're not, or trying to be something that other people have told you should be like, and the man or the men that you're initially attracting and trying to keep around are seeing that you're not being yourself, and they're leaving because they're tired of you flexing your liberty on them, flexing your toughness on them, when that's not the natural biological essence of a woman that men are attracted to. I normally don't have a problem in attracting a man. You're probably very attractive physically, ma'am, but that's only half the battle. Looks will get you in the door. Your attitude and the way you do things will keep you there, right? I normally don't have a problem attracting man, but maintaining it. Maintaining it. Okay. I have reached the conclusion that I drive men away because I'm too tough. Well, that's a hell of a conclusion, ma'am, and I will agree with you. Big round of applause! So in essence, ma'am, you're realizing that you're being way too assertive, and you're acting with more masculine energy than feminine energy, and that's repelling a masculine man that you've initially attracted based on your looks, right? He's attracted to your looks. You may have had some great sex, but he's just not feeling your attitude. It's not attractive to him. If he's that attractive, he can go and find another woman that's even probably better looking than you, that's going to be more submissive and sweet and kind and loving and not flex her muscles on him. Let's continue. Like, not so much physically, despite being also, but emotionally. Okay, so ma'am, it sounds like you want the emotional bond with a man. But how can you expect any man to feel any emotion for you when you're acting like a man? Like, men do not feel emotion, like strong men like myself do not feel emotion for women that are trying to act like a man. It doesn't turn us on to feel that emotion. Maybe you're starting to realize that at age 34, ma'am, and your biological clock is ticking tick-tock, 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 right? Tick-tock. Yes. I grew up my whole life listening that I needed to be sweet. Well, you must have had a good mother and father, because that's the right thing to do. You should be naturally sweet. That's part of your natural biological essence as a woman, ma'am. And it was just so unnatural to me. Why, ma'am? Because of the friends you would hang out with? Because of the college professors you had that were teaching you about, women, you need to stand up for yourselves nowadays, and women, you need to, be more assertive and this and that, right? And there's nothing wrong with a woman standing up for herself or being assertive at times. But if you're like that 100% of the time, or more than 20 to 30% of the time, then you're acting more like a man, and that's unattractive to women. Sorry, that's unattractive to men, I mean. Okay? I've always been, not being, it should be been, typo, a bit on the pragmatic and direct sides. Nothing wrong with being a little direct. My woman's direct, but she's not direct all the time. She's direct about 20 to 30% of the time. And when she's direct, if she's right, I will tell her, baby, you're right. Like, I will never tell a woman she's wrong if she's right. If she's wrong, which in many cases, women are just having a moment and they're also testing your strength. If my woman is wrong, I'll say, baby, you're being ridiculous. And she might come back and say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, baby. You're being ridiculous. Listen, you want to sit here and be ridiculous, or do you want to go take a nice, beautiful drive down the coast highway and take a nice walk and make out and go to a nice dinner? What sounds like more fun to you? You know what, babe? Your idea sounds better. All she's looking for you to do is to be a man and stand up to her so she can feel your strength, so she knows that she can still count on you to protect her from any inherent danger that may happen down the road. But if you're a weak guy and you cave, then she'll lose respect for you, and then things start going downhill from there. Okay? The way I demonstrate my love is more by standing by people in difficult situations, like being in a hailstorm together and not freaking out, or have a tire break mid-trip and help them to fix it, than by romantic gestures. Well, here's the thing, man. There's nothing wrong with a woman being able to replace a tire that goes flat, or, being in a hailstorm and not freaking out. There's nothing wrong with doing certain things that once only men would do, right? But here's the kicker that's killing you right here, ma'am. It's killing your relationships. You said you demonstrate your love more so by doing these masculine things that typically men would do, right? Nothing wrong with women doing them, but these are things that typically men would do, instead of romantic gestures. And what the hell do you think a man wants? Do you think I'm just with my woman so she can tell me how great she is at her job and how good she is at fixing things? Or do you think I'm with her also because there are times where we just snuggle in bed and she tells me how much she cares about me, and we snuggle up and we kiss and we make out and we are romantic and she shows me romantic gestures? Ma'am, you got a serious issue here if you have issues with romantic gestures. That's why these guys are using you for sex and then dumping you, because you're acting like a man. And quite honestly, even good, decent men like myself wouldn't act this way. It sounds like to me more so, ma'am, that you've got some traumatic issues that, are stemming back from somewhere, maybe some past relationships that you haven't worked through. Because even myself, as a strong, confident alpha male, I love showing romantic gestures to my lady. We've been together 6 months, and I trust her. She trusts me. I love showing her romantic gestures. If I didn't, then why would I be with her? Right? I am just reaching the conclusion that my qualities/characteristics are not valuable to men. Bingo! Big, huge round of applause! Bingo! So what are you going to do about it, ma'am? Wait till you see what she says next. Wait till you see what she says next. Blue Top Legend, this ma'am sounds like a head case, coach. This woman in the posting, right? Yeah. Well, she's just been indoctrinated into the feminist agenda. The social stigma by her friends, by college professors. She probably follows some other very empowered women that are motivational speakers. And this is what gets these women down the wrong path. And I kind of have to make a choice between being myself or finding a partner. No, you don't. Listen to what she says. And I kind of have to make a choice between being myself or finding a partner. Ma'am, you are a woman. You are female. Biologically, you're a straight female. And you're saying that you have to make a choice between being yourself when you're not being yourself and finding a partner. You're not finding a partner because you're not being yourself. Ma'am, the natural biological essence of a woman is being more submissive than dominant. You need to be submissive 70 to 80% of the time, and then a little dominant and assertive 20 to 30% of the time, because it is the modern world, and yes, women are liberated, right? Nothing wrong with being assertive 20 to 30% of the time. Okay? But if you're assertive more than that, in your case, man, it sounds like you're like 70 to 80% assertive. Actually, you sound 100% assertive because you're not even into romantic gestures, which is one of the biggest deals to most normal females in any relationship. You're closed off to romantic gestures, for Christ's sake. You're not being yourself, man. You're being something that the social stigma and the agenda of other women have led you to believe is the way you need to be. That's why you're not keeping a partner around. You're going to figure it out, and eventually you're going to put that guard down, and you're going to say, screw this agenda. Screw these other women that have told me to do this, right? That said, are there guys who are more into tough women? No, there aren't. No, not in that way. No. That is going to be the absolute single worst question I've ever heard any woman ask, especially a young woman. She's 34. She's still fairly young. She's still fertile for at least a few more years, good fertility, right? And instead of realizing that what she's saying there and what she's still looking for is not going to get her what she wants, she's going to run out of time biologically to have a child because of this. That said, are there guys who are into more tough women? You see, the way that your meaning of a tough woman is a woman that's in your face all the time, that wears the pants, is controlling, and wants to be the leader in the relationship. And that's the man's job. Women don't respect men that aren't leaders, right? Okay? And men have a hard time respecting women that try to lead the relationship, right? That's the man's job, to take you out and show you a good time. Sure, you can take him out at times, 20 to 30% of the time. But the majority of the time, it has to be the man being the leader. I mean, let me ask my lady behind the scenes, do you want to be the leader in our relationship most of the time, babe, or do you want me to be the leader? Now, I respect my woman, and I have no restrictions on her. She can come and go as she wishes. She can do whatever she wants, right? But I want to ask her, if she's still watching, would you rather be the leader in our relationship, or are you happy that I'm the leader? And again, I say that respectfully. I'm not controlling her or anything. But it makes me feel more of a man when I can take her out and do things for her and with her, right? Now, I always ask her, hey, how does this sound to you? I'm respectful, right? But seriously, baby, what is it that keeps you coming back to me? Let me know so I can read it out, because this woman is insane. That said, are there guys who are into more tough women. No! The beta males are, but you don't want them. The guys you want, there's not a guy out there that you would want that's a strong alpha male that would say, yes, we're into tough women. Right. Right. We would rather be with a tough woman that's going to be in our face and bust our balls all day than a sweet, loving woman that's going to want to make out with us and snuggle and take romantic walks along the beach and go to nice dinners and all that. This is asinine. It is. This is terrible. Blue Top Legend again. This man sounds like a head case coach. My woman gets back to me and says, "You are the leader, baby." I don't let it get to my head, but she understands, right? And I don't have a problem with her taking lead at times, right? But if she was leading like more than 20 or 30% of the relationship, it would turn me off and it would turn her off. What's happening to women nowadays? What is happening to women? Wow. Is the sweet, girly, you're my universe thing really so damn important for everyone? Yes! Absolutely yes! This woman knows exactly why she's repelling men after she gets them, right? She attracts the guy. They probably have good sex. They hang out. And then she starts to feel comfortable with him and starts to flex her authority, right? Starts to flex her muscles. Starts to be a tough woman, right? Is the sweet, girly, you're my universe thing really so damn important for everyone? Ma'am, until you figure that out, all you're going to get is a bunch of attractive guys that are just going to sleep with you for a couple weeks or a month until you start, flexing your toughness on them. And then they're going to try to talk with you that, hey, what's up with this attitude, right? And then it's going to trigger you because you're not realizing how you're coming off. You're not being yourself, man. That's the bottom line. We are at 1 hour and 34 minutes. Let's read some comments here and see what the comments section said. Wow. These two Reddit postings tonight, when I came across them, I was like, yeah, I got to do a show tonight. I got to do this show and share my thoughts while this is fresh. As a guy who had to learn to be able to feel okay with expressing emotions, tough doesn't mean emotionless. That's true. You got to balance it out, right? Like I'm a strong man, but I'm very emotional. I have emotions, right? And I bond with my lady emotionally. Women want to bond with me emotionally. And men want to bond with you ladies emotionally too. But if you ladies are all tough, that comes off to us guys as emotionless, like this person said here. Most of the time with women who have men-like attributes isn't toughness. It is a shield so nobody gets to them. Right, this woman has her guard up, right? She wants to be in control because she's probably let her guard down in the past and some guy took advantage of her for a while. And now she's holding it against all men in the future, right? She's probably talked with her friends and other powerful, women that are like public speakers. And they indoctrinated her to, girl, you got to stand up for yourself. And if you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, then you got to go. If he doesn't listen to you and everything that you want, you got to go. No, it's about listening and understanding each other, not just her. It's a two-way street. If you practice that long enough, everything seems weak because you are shielding yourself from getting hurt. It is a weakness to pretend to be tough. That's exactly why this guy or guys are leaving this woman after a little while, because they're seeing her toughness as extreme weakness, right? And, guys are not going to get rid of a woman if she's coming off weak every now and then, because women are, they're emotional beings, they're feminine, that's okay to a certain extent. But when she's trying to shield it by pretending to act all tough, and thinking that that is just the way she is and doesn't realize that, man, that's a big turnoff. And she actually is realizing what the issue is, but she still let's see if she comments down below. She's still not willing to own what this guy is just saying here. You're 100% right. It's a weakness to pretend to be tough. Try opening yourself to being vulnerable and express such. You would be surprised how wonderful it can be. It does make you cringe inside in the beginning. No, it shouldn't have to make you cringe. If you're with the right woman, being emotionally open and aware as a man and a woman is the most beautiful thing. That's why things are working out between my woman and I, because we're able to express ourselves to each other emotionally constantly. And just because I'm a man doesn't mean I don't have emotions. Now, I'm not sitting there crying all day, every day, but, we have some pretty intense conversations at times that are emotionally bonding. And that's the key to having a beautiful relationship, the emotional bond. You can't bond with a woman emotionally. As a man, you can't bond with a woman emotionally that's closed off to emotion. And it's being tough. There's the word tough is not associated with emotional bond. It's associated with emotional overload, emotional weakness, and emotional trauma, which is the bad emotion. Guys want to feel the good emotion with women, and women typically want to feel the good emotion with men too. So it's like having a wall up in a way. Haha, I like the comment at the end. Yeah, it's all about having a wall. It's about wanting to be in control. And it's also about other women getting into her ear, her friends, college professors, other, empowered women in the woman's space of doing public speaking regarding these aspects. And a lot of these women that are doing these personal development seminars for women, they charge a lot of money, whether it be online or offline. And they purposefully, say these things to women because it's profitable to them, right? A lot of things that happen nowadays are a money game, and women are paying a lot of money to follow other women that are strong and empowered, supposedly, and they get the wrong idea, and look what happens. They don't get what they want. This woman wants to be in a relationship with a guy, and she wonders why the guys are leaving her. This doesn't sound tough or strong. You sound afraid of vulnerability, and without it, there won't be any love connection. Big round of applause! Absolutely. That is absolutely 1,000,000% correct. This doesn't sound tough or strong. You sound afraid of vulnerability, and without it, there won't be any love connection. A woman's vulnerability is the sexiest thing to a man. When a woman submits to a man, she's basically saying, you know what, baby, I'm not going to fight, anything here. I'm all yours. I trust you. I believe in you. And if the man is really into you and you submit to him at that level and you trust him at that level to be that vulnerable, it's the biggest turn on to us. Because now we know you're really into us, and now we're willing to help you, take care of you, do the things that men do for women that they respect, right? And in turn, the woman respects you too. Let me see here real quick. Let's see. I always say only the brave ones can find love. You can't hold up a Pansar wall and expect love. That's true. Maybe ask yourself why you're afraid. Well, she probably had past experiences where she was vulnerable and she was taken advantage of. Then probably talk to some friends, like I said, or other empowered women, and they told her to do the stuff she's doing now. So she's like following a script, and then she's gotten used to it. Or maybe her mother was this way. Maybe her mother wore the pants in the relationship with her father, and the father was more feminized. So maybe that's why she's this way. Or maybe she came from a broken household. This stems back to somewhere in her past, either a past relationship, her relationship with her parents, or a combination of both. It's probably a combination of both. Okay? Why do you have to tell everyone how tough you are? Right. Like, I don't go around to my woman saying how great of a man I am, or how strong I am, or I'm such in great shape, or I'm a hot guy. I'm very humble, right? It's about humility, right? Even guys nowadays don't go around flexing their muscles trying to get attention because it's perceived as weak, even though they may be a good looking guy. Like there are a lot of great looking guys out there in great shape, but they're, pardon my French, dumb as a rock. And they're very insecure and they're very emotionally weak. Just because they're physically strong doesn't mean they're, emotionally strong and emotionally intelligent, which is more important to me or more important to women, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Why is that how you identify yourself? Because of everything I just said. It probably stems back to her childhood. Her mother was probably more of a masculine mother, being the leader in the marriage. Her father was probably more feminized. The polarity was off, so that's how she was raised. Or maybe she came from a broken household. Maybe her parents got divorced at a young age and her mother had to raise her, and the father was out of the picture. Maybe she had a traumatic relationship or two, an abusive relationship or two, right? There's a lot of stuff happening here. And she's holding it against all future men, okay? And look if it's rooted in insecure attachment. Right, she's very insecure, more insecure than the normal amount of women naturally being insecure for being feminine. How your parents treated you as a child, I just said that. There you go. You are basically having spikes outwards while blaming men for not approaching or committing to you. No, these guys are getting with her because she's hot. They're having sex with her. And they're sticking around for a little bit, but then she starts to flex her muscles. Then she starts to assert her power, right? And the men we don't leave right away. When we come across women like this, we'll try once or twice to stand up to her. As long as we're not beta males, don't know what we're doing. Like a strong man like me would say, hey, babe, you're being ridiculous, right? And, honestly, you don't need to flex your muscles on me. I like what we have, okay? I'm not trying to, have a competition with you and say that men are better than women or women are better than men. We're both equal. We're both, two good people. Why don't you just, cut that out? I respect you. Just let's just be good to each other, all right? No need to flex our muscles on each other. You want me flexing my muscles on you, babe? All right, that's what I would do. And one of two things would happen. She'd respect me for calling her out and then be turned on because I stood up to her and have some good loving and move on, or she would continue flexing her muscles and then I would just leave. But I wonder if these men that are going out with her are more feminized beta males and they aren't standing up to her, which is why this ends up happening. Right? And maybe she's leaving them. She didn't mention who left, right? She just mentioned it doesn't work out. Maybe she's dating beta males and she's leaving them because they aren't man enough to stand up to her. That could be it. I think your image on women is a bit twisted. You would think, wouldn't you? I think your image on women is a bit twisted. A bit twisted is completely twisted. No one says being tough must mean we can't also be kind and vulnerable or need something from others. A stable partner is both. Yeah, this woman has issues, emotional issues. She's traumatized over something or many things. And until she resolves those things, it sounds like she's identified why the men aren't sticking around, okay? She didn't mention if she left them or they left her. It's probably a combination of both, right? But, yeah, I mean, be kind and vulnerable. What's so difficult about that? This woman stated at the top of her profile that, or the top of her posting, let's go back to that. She wrote she would rather help people in difficult situations like being in a hailstorm and not freaking out or having a tire break mid-trip and help them to fix it instead of being romantic and showing romantic gestures. Instead of doing what, the feminine energy thing would be, she does the masculine energy thing. All right, let's read a couple more and then we're going to go off the air. We are at 1 hour and 46 minutes. Let's see here. 33 male. People who talk like original poster almost universally have this problem, particularly if, like original poster, attracting people is not a problem. Straight up tough is not a good thing. It's not a good thing for men and women to act all tough. Even though men, technically, from a biological standpoint, are going to be physically stronger than women most of the time, right? Okay, we're not going out there, like I don't go out there and say I'm a tough, strong, masculine man. Now, when I talk with my lady, we talk about topics for my coaching business and YouTube channel. But I never directly go to her and say, I'm a strong, tough, alpha, blah, blah, blah. I'm just me, right? But when we talk about my business and we get into it, I may share things like that with her, but not for any other reason besides, trying to, create better content for my channel and getting her opinion on it. Strong and courageous are good things. Facing fears, accepting pain when it comes. Tough means not letting anyone get close enough to cause pain. Obviously, that shields you from pain, but it also pushes people away. Basically, this woman is not open to receive love. Okay? She's not allowing herself to be vulnerable. She's, not allowing love to enter her life. She's not realizing that she is sabotaging herself. She is self-sabotaging. Okay? And that, in turn, is very apparent to any man she goes out with. Probably even the beta males can notice this. She's so apparent with it that she's probably even scaring away beta males. That's how bad it is. I think your perspective on this is wrong. Well, this is a woman, Michelle. The choice is not between toughness or the sweet, girly, you're my universe thing. Standing by someone in a difficult situation is just one way to express affection. There are infinite other ways. Okay. I could be wrong here, but reading between the lines, it kind of sounds like you aren't vulnerable with men, maybe people generally. Yeah, she's closed off because she's probably been hurt before, or maybe that's, what she saw through her parents. Maybe her parents had a bad marriage or bad relationship. The sexual polarity was off in their marriage or relationship. Her parents, like I said, her mother was probably the more dominant one and masculine one in the relationship, and her father was probably more of a feminized beta male, right? So she's basically behaving in a way that she learned from her family. That's where I think it actually happened. Now, it could have also happened from past relationships, but I think this has to do with what she saw through her parents as a little girl. And all she's doing is behaving in the way she's familiar, right? She kind of mentioned that in her posting. This is what's familiar to her. She doesn't know any other way, right? I almost can't blame her because she's been raised this way. The more and more I read here, the more I am beginning to think that this is stemming from her childhood and the way her parents raised her. Let's see here. Lack of vulnerability is definitely a turnoff for most women too. It is. It is. If you keep people at arm's length, then how can anyone feel close to you? Right. She wants a guy to stay around, but she's not willing to give anything to get that. Right? She wants the guy to be vulnerable with her and all that, but she doesn't want to be vulnerable to him. She's 34 years old and has not figured this out yet. Maybe by the time she's 40. By that point, her fertility will drop to 5%. Wow. FWIW. There are plenty of pragmatic and direct women who also know how to be vulnerable. Yeah, that's how my woman is. My woman's a very strong woman. She's assertive. But she's assertive 20 to 30% of the time. The other 70 to 80% of the time, she's submissive and sweet. Hey, baby. How you doing, baby? I miss you, baby. Thinking about you, baby. That's all feminine energy right there. That's why I'm with her. If she were to be all tough and shit, 70 to 80% of the time or 100% of the time, I'd say, baby, this is not working for me. Either change your attitude or I'm gone. You're not being yourself. This woman's not being herself. Being able to show your emotions, ask for help, talk about things that are emotionally difficult, etc., are much more indicative of toughness than fixing a tire. I agree. So in essence, this woman would rather do other things to show toughness, things that typically men would do, than show her actual toughness and strength by being emotionally aware and vulnerable and emotionally intelligent. This woman is not emotionally intelligent. Either that, or she's just so scared of getting hurt that she's not willing to give anything. That's why she's not getting anything from men. She's not giving anything. Edit grammar. Okay. 2 more, and I'm going to go off the air. 3 more, because the original poster commented. I agree. Lack of vulnerability is a turnoff. It is uncomfortable to be in a relationship with someone you know is not being open or honest about their feelings. Right. Right. Any normal woman's going to want a guy to be vulnerable and open. So why can't they be the same way in return? That's natural for women. This woman is holding back from being in a way that most women are, naturally. This sounds right to me. Yes, some men are attracted to more girly women and others to strong. There's not a man, not a normal non-beta male on the planet that's attracted to more strong, assertive women. We're all attracted to more girly women because that's a woman's natural biological essence. There's nothing wrong with women being strong and assertive 20 to 30% of the time. But the remainder, 70 to 80%, needs to be submissive, or it's just not going to work with any man they would want, the real men. The beta males, they have no clue, so they'll give into anything. But you ladies don't want the beta males, right? You want the good guys, the well-balanced, decent alpha males? Then you got to be more girly. Be less strong and assertive. Be assertive and strong when necessary, but don't try to pull that shit on your man when it's not necessary. Don't flex your muscles on a man you want to have a life with. It's ridiculous. But these qualities will be pretty obvious from the first date. That original poster is able to start but not maintain relationships suggested is something else. Yeah, she's probably being submissive enough in the beginning to get the guy, right? And then, they hang out a few times, they have sex, right? And then all of a sudden, probably after a month or 2 into it, she starts to maybe lock him down, and she starts to be really, really pushy and starts, being demanding and trying to control the relationship. But we always go where you go and blah, 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 right? So she's doing the right things to get the guy initially, and she probably is very attractive, right? But she flips the script on them very shortly afterwards, a month or 2 into it. And then they're like, hey, I didn't sign up for this. I mean, you've been one way all this time and you just flipped the script on me. I'm not interested in this. If this is who you really are and you waited this long to show me, I'm going to pass. Best of luck to you, right? Original poster. This is the final message. Get your final comment I'm going to read. Get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in a few minutes. We are at 1 hour and 56 minutes right now. You probably have a point. I don't like to express my feelings before I get really, really comfortable with someone because you're afraid of getting hurt because you've been hurt before, probably by other guys and your family. Which never happens because I can't express my feelings to foster the process of getting closer. So if this woman is that guarded and has been that guarded all her life from, from the very beginning of any relationship, she's been that guarded with every relationship, all her life, it's not going to turn around until she puts her guard down. That's the bottom line. I don't like to express my feelings before I get really, really comfortable with someone, which never happens because I can't express my feelings to foster the process of getting closer. Well, ma'am, it kind of sounds like to me you're shooting yourself in the foot with your own gun. Kind of like in the movie 8 Mile, Cheddar Bob, who shot himself in his leg with his own gun. Ma'am, how can you sit here and come out here and put out a posting like this and then say what you just said and be able to stand tall after that? Maybe it's a lesson learned. You're shooting yourself in your foot or your leg with your own gun. It's not because I'm a bad person. I don't think you're a bad person. No one thinks you're a bad person. You are guarded. You are closed off. You were raised in an environment with probably more of a masculine mother and feminine father. You've been hanging around, friends, other female friends, and maybe your college professors, and all of them, were trying to indoctrinate you into this, radical feminine culture or radical feminist culture, right? And now you're beginning to realize that something's got to give, because if it was just one man this was happening with, then you could say, all right, maybe it's them. But if it happens with every single man, if it's happened with every single man, since you started dating probably in your teens until the point of now where you're 34 and you're seeing this pattern, man, you're going insane because you're trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and you keep getting the different result. Sorry, you keep getting the same result that is opposite of what you want and what you should be getting. It's not because I'm a bad person. It's just that I feel very uncomfortable with the possibility of being vulnerable and being made ridicule when I'm mostly unprotected. Yeah, this woman is severely traumatized, quite frankly. If I was single and I came across this woman, I would be able to pinpoint this much of an insecurity and this much of a woman being guarded within a few messages on a dating app. But I bet she's really, really super hot, so guys meet up with her because they want to bang her. And maybe some guys don't even bang her. Maybe most guys don't bang her because if this woman is this guarded, she's the type of woman that would also probably dangle sex like a carrot and try to control these guys before she would have sex with them, right? And maybe that's why these guys are leaving, because they go on 1 or 2 or 3 dates with her and they try to get close to her and make out with her, but she doesn't let it happen. And then she wonders why guys don't stick around. All right, folks, enough of that. I think you get the point. Wow, that had to be one of the most ridiculous postings I've ever seen a woman write. But a lot of women are actually feeling the same way as her. I've just never seen someone write it as bluntly as she did. Anyway, let's go back to full screen and wrap this baby up. We're at exactly 2 hours right now. Yeah, tonight, I got a beautiful background here. This is the beautiful, beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. Look at this. I mean, let me turn off let me actually turn off the camera for a second so you can see this, and then the chat as well. I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful background there. Courtesy of Canva, I've got my licenses to use tens of thousands of images, high quality from Canva. Just love Canva. Unpaid endorsement, highly, highly recommended. Let's turn on the chat and let's turn back the camera. Turn back on the camera. There we are. And let's wrap this baby up. All right, folks, I'm going to thank you all for being here tonight. Another great show. If you missed any parts of it and you're here live still, go back, check out the replay in a few. It'll go to the replay automatically. And I want to thank you. God loves me. Can't even talk, for being here. Thank you to Blue Top Legend for being here, and anyone else watching behind the scenes. I'll be back tomorrow for a Walking with Purpose stream, probably earlier on in the day. And then tomorrow evening, I'm going to be spending some time with my lady. We're going to go to a nice dinner. I've got some nice gifts that came, that were delivered today, baby. Those 2 shirts came in. I come bearing gifts for the lady tomorrow. She's bearing gifts for me too. And this is not a simpish thing. Her and I are very equal with each other. We take care of each other. When you care about someone and you're into someone for the right reason and it just works, there's nothing wrong with doing nice little things like this every now and then. And I do it because she doesn't expect it. And I don't expect anything from her. And it's funny. The less you expect from someone, whether it's a relationship or a friendship or whatever, the more you're going to get. Expect less or expect nothing, and eventually you'll get everything. That being said, have yourselves a great night, and we'll see you all next time. And as always, be good to each other. Take care. Bye. Bye.